ahead. I don't shudder.
Isn't this just the sweetest thing?
Party's over.
Welcome to this edition of Hindsight is Horrifying, the show where three mostly normal and somewhat cynical adults discuss life as members of the TV generation.
For now.
Now here are your hosts, Darth Jada, Jason Mitchell, and Adam B.
Hello, hello.
Jason's an ass clown.
Look at these happy faces.
Hate you, Jason.
Happy faces. Do you know why they're happy, ladies and gentlemen? Because they watched last night, literally less than 24 hours ago, both of them watched the
together. We braved
Yeah.
the holy mountain
They
together.
braved
Crucified.
Alejandro Jodorowsky's most painful movie ever made, The Holy Mountain. And you're going to get to see bits and pieces of it today also.
God help you, and spoiler alert, and just don't hate Darth Jader for this. This is Jason's fault.
Let me ask you this.
It's utterly Jason's fault.
Let me ask both of you one very simple question about this movie. Okay, so you both, well, two questions. You both watched it.
Here he comes. Here he comes to wreck the day.
So you both watched The Holy Mountain. I'm going to move your camera up a little bit.
Yes, Mr. Brown is rather tall. So.
There we go. You both watched The Holy Mountain, yes?
Yes, we did.
You watched it from beginning to end.
Yes, we did.
No, I had to take a break. I couldn't.
But you saw the whole movie.
We took breaks together because I had to put Watson to bed. He had to put Danger to bed. And
that's good. That's good. So my question is, what's it about? Because I've never actually watched it.
That's an excellent question.
You cocksucker. Did I say that on the air?
God.
She'll beat me. He'll be my mama. Sorry. Yeah, you know what? I have an idea of what it's from, but I appreciated the opening sequence because that was actually a Japanese tea ritual, and I thought I recognized it.
And what did it entail, Mr. Brown?
Well, we shaved the heads of two lovely ladies.
Yes,
who happened to be topless.
Yeah, who were apparently like just two women who wanted to be spiritual, and so they ended up in this movie.
Like you do.
Because that is actually, because we should point out that the character of there is some nudity down here, so.
Well, yes, there is. Like so consider yourselves warned.
Anytime I press this button, we're going to get some nudity. That's pretty much a guarantee.
I'm not even kidding, hindsighters. Consider yourselves warned because this is the weirdest fucking movie
It's the most painful movie ever made.
It's horrible. Here's the synopsis. Are you ready?
Oh, God. Does it have one?
Thank you.
It does. It's rather short, but here's the thing.
Shit happens.
A Mexican master leads a Christ figure and other disciples to a mountain of immortal wise men.
But here's my problem.
That doesn't even cover it.
That's the second half of the movie. That's the thing about this movie is you suffer through literally an hour, and it's a 2-hour long movie.
Here's another one.
Oh, well, okay. Would you go through a whole hour before the plot begins?
Yes.
Like in It's a Wonderful Life, but in a horrible way.
Yes, it's very much the spiritual successor to It's a Wonderful Life. Yeah.
So this is the IMDb synopsis. In a corrupt, greed-fueled world, a powerful alchemist leads a messianic character and 7 materialistic figures to the Holy Mountain, where they hope to achieve enlightenment.
Yeah, whatever.
Go on.
Well, you know who plays the alchemist, right?
The director.
Jodorowsky. Yeah.
I think his brother was in it too, but got cut.
His wife at the time is one of the disciples or whatever. Cell, I think was.
Oh, that was his wife.
Yeah, the one who sold the guns to the kids.
Yeah, I liked her.
Yeah,
She was pretty badass.
Yeah.
she's my favorite.
Of course she is.
Yeah, it's a difficult movie to talk about because, quite frankly, it's a difficult movie to say what it's about. It's a psychedelic,
Very psychedelic.
surrealist movie. It's a spiritual movie. It's by, as we said, Alejandro Jodorowsky, the Chilean-born, spent most of his life in Mexico. And
I can't watch this.
I do like this part
is this? Oh yeah,
where he
You like-
urinates himself.
yeah.
What
That's what
is
that-
it with you and
That would
men
give-
urinating
That
themselves?
would give it an X rating.
Yes, I know, but
this-
why do you like that? That is so strange. Oh God.
Piss fetish.
Meanwhile, there's a puma and a frog and a guy with
No arms
a
and no
tarot
legs.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got to talk about this guy. So he's
Stumpy?
He's the champion of the movie. He has no arms and no legs.
Let's bring him up here
hindsighters.
so you guys can see.
Yeah,
Please
there he
do.
is.
Yes.
He finds the Christ-like character, cleans the no-see-ums or flies or whatever off of his face, and somehow revives him.
He pulls the flower out of his, what is that called?
It's like a stigmata.
Stigmata,
but it's-
that's it.
Yeah,
right.
he-
Stigmata.
Well, it's okay. The movie centers more or less around the character of the thief.
Meanwhile, he's digging a hole with what
It's a
is that an animal leg?
It's a cow leg.
It's a
cow
cow
leg. Yeah, come on, like you do.
Yeah.
Like you do.
Yeah.
Don't you dig holes with cow
God.
legs?
I mean, that's how I dig all the holes in my yard. Yes.
They had the ritualistic stoning. He got stoned for this.
Yes, he did. Well, before the movie was made, Jodorowsky and his wife spent a week. They went a week without sleep. Under the tutelage of some, spiritual leader.
Yogi.
Yeah.
A yogi.
The cast had to spend like a month at some other spiritual place. You can just imagine how.
Well, it was like Saving Private Ryan. They all went to boot camp.
Yeah, exactly.
They had a spiritual awakening.
That's kind of how I felt throughout this movie. I was Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
This movie started, and I was just like,
Only instead of bullets, it's penises flying by.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of penises. If you want to see penises, this is your movie.
if you want to see boobs, penis, if you want to
Boobs.
see genitalia in
Yeah.
general,
It
really.
actually gets to the point where
Lot
you
of
just
genitalia.
stop noticing the genitals.
And that's-
like
that's-
about an hour into it, you're like,
False.
yeah. Okay.
She will
Maybe
always
not.
notice.
Maybe not.
Honda inaccurate.
Okay. All right.
No. But yeah, so do we ever know Stumpy's real name? He's got a moon crescent earring and no limbs.
He's some astrological figure.
But he can light a cigarette.
Yeah.
And he licks Christ on the forehead.
He does.
Let's go back through some of our commentary.
And it's
with
very
our
clear. But it's very important to note though that he's not Christ. He just looks exactly like him. Because,
like Jim Caviezel.
Yeah, he's basically Jim Caviezel. Because
I bet Mel Gibson has opinions on this movie. Oh my God.
you think? Because
Speaking of Mel Gibson.
yeah, because basically the movie sort of it's a broad base.
You must just show this part if you can. This is
God.
march.
no
God damn it,
animals
Jason.
were hurt in the making of this film.
Yeah, do you know where those dogs came from?
A restaurant.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they went back to the restaurant when the movie was over.
Chow time.
Yeah.
At least they used every part of the buffalo. Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going back through our commentary from last night, listeners, because Mr. Brown and I basically live tweeted this movie to each other, but
It was
via
fun.
text.
Yeah,
It was very fun.
Well, things like this are easier to suffer with somebody else,
yes, that's true. This
Was it painful? Was it painful?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was painful.
Yes.
Here's the question, though. Did you cry?
No.
No, there was. I'll tell you, there was no there was cringing. It begins with a k, strong k sound,
Okay.
but no crying.
And Mr. Brown tried to fool me into thinking that Thomas Jane is in this movie, and he is not. Guaranteed. I didn't even have to look it up on IMDb. I was just like, you are such a liar, but I said it in Spanish.
Well, we should talk about, and also, by the way, if anyone has any problem with gratuitous rape scenes.
Well, no, it's consensual. Look at she enjoyed it.
Yeah, well,
She did.
Well,
Like, that's what's crazy.
That's the
Take
thing
pictures.
about Jodorowsky. He actually got into some trouble because he did a movie before this called El Topo.
Oh, God.
And El Topo was a Western. It was like a psychedelic, surreal Western with him, like, I think at some point the cowboy gets killed. He's resurrected. There's a whole bunch of stuff. But there's a rape scene in it. And there was a comment that was attributed to Jodorowsky that he has since vehemently denied making. So I'll, take it for whatever it is. Go do your own research. But he basically said the actress in that scene, she had actually been raped at one point in her life.
Oh, poor thing.
And he raped her during the movie.
Oh, dear God.
And
Allegedly.
And of course he's come back and he said, no, that I never said that. That's impossible. How would I have done that in front of this, whole film crew and everything? And, as far as plausibility goes, I find it incredibly plausible that it could
With
happen.
this movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jesus is Tarzan in this movie.
Yeah.
Just in frogs explode.
So that goes into the whole thing with, that shot right there where the guard starts raping her, but then she ends up enjoying it. There's a little window into the...
There's something so wildly disturbing about that
It was
because
disturbing, yes.
that sends mixed messages because here's the thing, fellas, we don't like being raped.
Yeah, that you don't have to tell us that. You really don't have to tell. Yeah.
No, I was just saying that to the fellas in the world. Women don't like being raped. Don't do it.
So Jodorowsky makes El Topo, the psychedelic cowboy movie, and apparently that attracted the attention of John Lennon and George Harrison.
Oh God, yes, tell the story.
Now, John Lennon and Yoko Ono actually put up money to make this
I saw
movie.
that, yeah.
And
Now that I didn't know.
yeah, and either Harrison or Lennon or both convinced their producer, and I cannot remember the name of the producer.
It's not terribly
the
important.
guy, his name, he was one of the producers for the Beatles. He did a lot of stuff with the Beatles. He ended up being sort of the villain of the Beatles story.
Okay.
But he convinced him to put up $1 million to shoot this movie.
Yikes.
And George Harrison was actually going to be in the movie. He was going to star as the thief. And he had signed on. It was all going to happen. And then George Harrison read the script, and there's one scene, and we'll make sure to put that scene up so
I
you
need
can
to see it again.
Absolutely.
But George Harrison objected to the
You've
scene
been
in the
warned.
movie where the thief has his anus washed ritually.
Yes.
Well, I mean, there are chastity vaginas and like
There's everything. There's a giant sex robot that's not what you think it is.
No, it's not a teledildonic.
It's a giant robot that...
It's a plumbus.
It's a plumbus. It actually is a plumbus.
And it makes a little baby robot if you
It makes the baby robot.
if you do it right. Yeah.
Yep.
Now we're getting to the part that the first scene that disturbs everyone: the exploding lizards.
That's not the first scene that disturbs anyone.
No.
It's one of the million scenes that have already disturbed us.
Yeah.
Well, this was the first one where I had to kind of look away.
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
messed
bad.
up.
Because I don't think that's the red paint that you
No,
always
it's
talk
not.
about.
That's blood.
Yeah.
that's blood.
Oh dear God.
It's definitely blood.
How do you because they really explode the frogs, hindsighters.
Yeah,
You can see them
Yeah, they
flying.
blow those frogs up left and right.
Poor things, my
Yeah.
God. But then we move
When they
on.
woke up that morning, they had
and
no
here's
idea.
the thing. Here's what's so stupid about this, though, and this is why the movie.
Do tell.
This is why the movie. If anyone says this is a great movie, and there's tons of people, Rotten Tomatoes, 82%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Rotten Tomatoes has a lot of people on LSD.
And a lot of RD people.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This movie is garbage. And one of the reasons I say it's garbage is because
Christ's for sale. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's garbage because the first half of the movie is just the director wanking onto a script and just putting shit up there that's disconnected, that hasn't, it's just stuff he feels like, yeah, that would be cool, and there's no cohesion, there's no story, no driving element.
There's the chastity vagina.
Yes, there's.
She had a good close-up of that with the 8mm.
The second half of the movie actually has a plot. As soon as they finish introducing all the disciples with their crazy as fuck backstories.
Right.
My favorite is the fashion designer, hands down. He's just the old man, and he sticks his hand in his dead wife's.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Is it wet? Yes. Dry? No. And
Right.
that's how you decide which direction you want to go.
Her mummy.
Her mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You remember that part, don't you?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. If you see one movie this year.
What I'm looking at right now is the fact that
Those Romans were
Stumpy-
not that fat.
Stumpy is somehow helping the Christ-like Messiah character to drag his cross.
Right.
And I don't even know how this man, like, this is a level of hustle that I cannot relate to. And I've had to switch jobs. I've had, some hardships in my own life, but never in my life have I been utterly limbless and had to drag a cross. Like, that's,
Stumpy's working for it. And then he
my
goes
God.
crazy in that one scene, and he's like kicking the he's got the helmet on and he's kicking
yeah.
And we're about to
At
get...
least I'm assuming that's him. That's not a different armless, legless man, is it?
So, no,
He had a
assuredly
twin
not.
brother that, helped.
So we're about to catch up with mine and Adam's text from last night, hindsighters. And here's the thing. What we were saying was, and this was Darth's text, saying, when I die, I want you fellas to cover me with yogurt and throw me on a massive pile of potatoes. Because that's a thing.
Now, I think this was a continuity error, though. He was naked, and then they put a loincloth on him. Did you see that?
Yeah, see that.
Because he's like, I am not having that put on my penis.
That is the kind of sloppy filmmaking.
Look at that. Look.
Yeah, he's got the loincloth on.
I'm gonna split off for a second to say something wholesome.
I had to walk away from that one, too.
Here's something wholesome in the meantime.
It was very jizzy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
God. So here's something wholesome to distract everyone for a moment, because this movie is so royally fucked. It was recently Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Mothers.
You all mothers.
But I had a very precious moment with my niece recently. We were at Mother's Day supper together, and I learned from my sister-in-law that Riley's very much into Tarzan right now. Have y'all ever seen the Disney version?
Of course, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hear that, and my autistic synapses immediately fire, and I look at my niece, and I was like, Tarzan, and she's rapt.
Sorry, but this movie's ruined apes for me, too.
You're okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's just it's a chimpanzee. It's not a gorilla. Calm down.
Still.
But I look at her and I just do the scene where Tarzan and Jane learn each other's names, where Jane is like, no, I'm Jane. And Tarzan mimics too, and he's like, no, I'm Jane. And she's like, Jane, Tarzan. Jane, Tarzan. And my mother actually called me after supper. She was like, I have never seen your niece light up like she did when you did that scene from freaking Tarzan. That was so random, and I was like, that was just my autistic brain at work. You're welcome,
cute,
ladies and gentlemen.
That is adorable, and I respect your attempt to divert the movie, things away from the movie,
God.
but it's not going to work.
All right, then I'll just keep up with mine and Mr. Brown's text messages. Can I have your helmet? I feel
Speaking of Tarzan,
yes, please.
the scene where Tarzan is screaming because he's surrounded by the fake Christ or whatever. See, and that's
They worked really hard while he was
Christ,
unconscious.
I love
really
that.
did.
They made like at least, what would you say, 500, 600 of them?
which is totally implausible.
Yes.
They're in Mexico.
Unbelievable.
What are you talking about? They're mostly Catholic in
true.
Mexico. So.
Jodorowsky, his movie,
Look
he
at
had a
him
movie.
pronouncing it correctly with the Y sound and everything.
Well, because believe me, there are people on the internet who
will troll us.
Who will. I can't believe you called him Jodorowsky. That's not how he said the name.
I mean, I already have several trolls, gentlemen.
This is the greatest movie ever. You're just not smart enough to know it. No, it's crap. And I think even Jodorowsky, I suspect that he even made it partially thinking it was crap.
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean, the end of the movie, and I know we're skipping way ahead, but the end of the movie,
It's heavy.
well,
It's a helmet. It's a helmet liner, actually.
you don't want it to be light.
It's okay.
No, but the
end of the movie.
the end of the movie, and we'll get into what the second half is later, but it finishes with Jodorowsky pulling the curtain down.
The fourth
Sorry,
wall.
I'm reading our notes.
Breaking
from
the
last
fourth
night.
wall. And it's basically saying to everyone in the audience and everyone like, hi, I just wasted your time for 2 hours. Now leave.
It was, and I got pissed with Jason, and this is in my my show notes on my phone, but we're at the part right now where I said, apparently Jesus is edible.
He's made of cake.
Yeah, he is apparently made of cake.
And yeah, but at the end, Jason, you're
Yeah, I
totally
love
right.
Jodorowsky said that he discovered feminism while making this movie.
Oh, really?
I don't see any evidence
Well,
of it.
when you can get women to wear mesh netting and, you know,
I had to look away here, too. Not good with glass eyes myself. It's just,
Yeah.
guy pries out his eye.
yes, I'll gift you, my eyeball
You may
someday.
want to pop that one into the lower corner.
Yeah,
Let's
don't
see.
worry, I'll
Really
give you my
gross
eyeball
out the
someday.
audience.
Great. And, you know, we clearly need a chimp. That was another of the notes.
You mean eye.
Ready?
You mean glass eye. Oh, he just pops it right out, too.
Well, it's just like the guy in Pirates of the
Yeah.
Caribbean. That doesn't bother anybody, but in
And
this movie, it very much bothered me.
Well, and it's funny because I always saw glass because I saw Last Action Hero, and in Last Action Hero they're all round, like balls.
Yes.
And 'cause
This
he
is
can,
like a die that he pulls out
and,
of
I
his.
and I was like, oh, glass eyes are actually sort of like a.
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay.
Meanwhile,
well, there you go.
Christ
See?
is
Learn
carrying
something.
a Christ mannequin with Gimpy following him around the streets of
Yeah.
Mexico. Oh my God.
Who Gimpy. It's weird because we have the scene here where
Stumpy, I think is what we
Stumpy, yeah,
named
Stumpy, where the
Sorry,
thief
Stumpy.
meets the prostitute. That at the end of the movie, he is sent away with the prostitute and the chimp.
Yes.
I know it's hard to remember by that
Because I'm only
by
ever.
that
This is
point.
the last time I'll be watching this
Yeah.
damn movie ever.
But I'm sorry, it's so retarded.
Okay, no, we'll get back.
Okay.
Who doesn't want to spoon Christ? Strategic lather, strategic potatoes. We've been eating crackers in church like idiots.
There are a lot of
We had
potatoes
such
in here.
crazy notes about this movie because it doesn't make any sense. Even the Christ-like mannequin has a Tarzan kind of loincloth
Yeah.
on, which is way more appropriate. You know, at least you don't see Christ's.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was very respectful
Yes.
in that regard.
And here come the gas masks.
Yeah. Well, we've already seen some gas masks, but this is the
Men dancing with men in
dan-
gas masks.
Oh dear God!
which
Are we getting a little
To the
homophobic
mariachi,
up
to
in
the
here,
mariachi
gentlemen?
band, yeah.
if anyone knows what this scene means, put it in the comments.
Yeah, please let us
we'd be
know.
delighted to find out. This movie, okay, so let's break down the fact that the movie begins with a very long sequence, and this is my interpretation of it. Okay, establishing the thief and how the thief finds the alchemist.
What was he even stealing? The thief.
Who fucking knows?
He stole a couple dollars and put them in his, remember?
I
They were all
don't know.
burning-
There's
they're
so much
burning
of
the
this
money.
that I don't remember.
Remember,
Yeah.
they were burning the money in the
God help me.
in the fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thief is established as a thief,
Mm-hmm.
and then he has sort of this resurrection
Erection.
metaphor thing, and he ends up outside the tower that is the home of the alchemist. And he goes into the tower thinking he's gonna steal gold from the alchemist.
Oh,
That's the end of
this is where the high Catholic priest is like spooning. The bishop. He's
we was too late.
nice. He's spooning.
He's spooning the
And that's
artificial Jesus.
and that's like a real, because it has the crown of thorns, and I mean
That's a real.
it's a higher quality than that cheap knockoff that
They clearly stole it from a church.
Yeah.
Like, it's a thing. And
So anyway, the beginning of the movie establishes the thief and leads up to the point where he meets the alchemist. And I would say that that's the end of the first part, but really the first part is
Christ is made out of potatoes.
yes.
That's a nice
dear
vanilla
God.
layer cake. That's what I don't know what it would be.
I think it
The end of
doesn't
the
matter.
movie. To your point, we keep derailing
the
you.
end of the first part of the movie ends with Christ, the thief, shitting into a container.
Oh.
Yes.
And
Which was magnificent. And making meth out of it.
yeah, and then the
That's what us
alchemist.
high priestesses and priests do, Jason.
I suppose.
Didn't you know? That's
I guess. I guess.
if you require that service, hindsighters. I don't perform it. No judgment. But
But he did sit in a clear glass potty.
Yes.
And I was waiting for him to deliver, but apparently they cut away and then it was there.
Yeah.
I guess he was had some anxiety.
Maybe he couldn't go on film.
he was
You know?
a
He has a
tad
shy colon.
reticent.
That's the end of the beginning, though, and then we have the very long sequence that is sheer agony, because the alchemist
all sheer agony.
well, the alchemist introduces the thief to
There's Tom Jane.
You saw that, right?
the
Looked like him.
apostles who are going to travel with him to the holy mountain.
That's Tom right there. No,
No, it isn't,
The big
Thomas.
hook comes
I know you're
down,
not
and
in this
I think
fucking movie.
that's where they give offering
Yeah,
to the alchemist. But Jesus,
yeah.
Why don't you
they
explain
send
the
him
offering?
food. They send him.
they were sending him
Food.
gold, a little bit of gold there. They're going to put food on, and then what does he do? Get rid of it. I'm going to climb. Now, I'd be careful climbing
I'm gonna
anything on that one.
stride a pirate anchor
Oh my
to
God,
the
look at this.
top
He's like
of a
Spider.
tower.
He's Spider-Man. A naked Spider-Man.
It's so raw and.
And everything that happened in that little tower, didn't it?
Until they leave to go to the island, because
Yeah.
they actually do go to the.
They really do go? Oh,
yeah, they go
okay,
to
that
Lotus because
wasn't-
they go to Lotus Island. Well, no, because it's all fake. None of it actually.
Yeah, that's
it's
what I'm
just a
saying.
movie.
So, like, that's what
what's
Adam's
so-
saying is that everything technically happened in that tower.
Yeah, but that didn't even happen. That's the whole thing. None of this happened.
Oh,
Well,
because
yeah.
it was all a film.
It was all.
It's
a
very
film.
Monty Python. It's
Yeah.
just like we've been fucking with you this whole time, and
dream.
then the police show
Yeah.
up and arrest everybody. Like, it's great.
So he goes into the tower, and he's. As I said, it kicks off the sequence where the alchemist introduces him to the people who are going to go with him on this quest to the Holy Mountain. And we get to see
like you do.
a series of short films, effectively, showing the backstory of each one of these characters. And each character has a slightly more fucked up backstory than the one you just saw. At least that's how it feels.
Especially once we get to, how do you pronounce her name? Isla or Isla?
Isla.
Isla, as
Isla,
an island.
Yeah, there's Isla Cell.
That's some Jesus ass right there. Oh my
yeah.
God.
That's what you call it, a brown eye.
where was he
where was he
storing that
hiding the
dagger?
knife? Yeah, where was he hiding that knife?
Oh, he had it slit in his loincloth.
That is not wise.
No.
That is not wise.
And not
It is
wives
not.
just blindly jumping through this. I would have taken a peek through it
Yeah,
personally.
probably so.
Jumped through the paper.
He doesn't come across as an overtly intelligent man.
No.
And he winds up at the gay pride parade in Atlanta because it's the LGBTQ rainbow.
And there is, some photography that's
I thought
legitimately cool.
I thought this was very cool, particularly the what do you call it? They're not pan, but I guess pan. This part right here, where he was walking through all
Yeah.
the color schemes.
I
thought that was
that's
pretty
a
well
really,
done.
really neat shot. There's, and it, of course,
What do you call that when you're not racking but
Dollying.
Dolly,
Yeah.
dolly, yeah.
there's a camel there.
And
Dolly
there's,
Just
cause.
there's a two-hump
We
camel.
need a camel. Why? I need a camel. Get me the camel.
Meanwhile,
I don't know
there
why he's an
are
Arab all of a
stuffed
sudden.
cheetahs or leopards in the background. There's so many dead animals in this
we're gonna
movie.
get to see a pair of stuffed tigers in the greatest scene in the whole movie.
Oof.
And I love tigers.
Yeah.
Got plugged. But the
Meanwhile,
fight
they're-
scene, he
Fight
really
scene,
hired
fight
some great
scene, we're gonna have a
choreographers here.
fight
It's
scene.
such a believable fight scene. That's Jodorowsky going, I am the greatest fighter ever. And I will fight this man.
Well, because who
he-
can't fight a man in go-go boots?
Yeah.
Oh, stuffed goats.
Stuffed goats, yeah.
Oh, maybe why was I thinking about leopards? I don't know. Maybe it was
Later
the
on
tigers.
with the tigers.
Yep. Oh,
Tiger
okay.
cans.
Maybe I was on LSD while I was watching this damn movie because I'm remembering things that didn't even happen.
Yeah.
You were on LSD. You told me you dropped a hit about an hour before.
I honestly think if you did drop acid and watch this movie, it may be legitimately the scariest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the woman who has the coil around her neck. What is
I don't know what the
term
name of
for
it
that?
is.
Okay, but she's got a coil around her thigh and her neck, and she's naked.
And her arm.
Oh, and her arm.
got
Yeah, I
one
just saw that too. And she looks stuffed almost because she's so still. She looks like the dead goats on either side of Jodorowsky's throne, like that.
It's
What is this movie, Jason?
this movie is what happens if you take somebody like David Lynch and you remove their
Part of his brain?
Yeah, you take part of his brain.
You
out.
lobotomize him.
Exactly, because David Lynch would do something where like there would be a character who didn't have any arms and legs. But David Lynch would have a very specific reason, and he wouldn't tell you, but he would know. It wouldn't be like,
And he'd build
we
up-
need a camel. Put a camel over there.
But
Why?
he'd build up and like you'd eventually understand why.
Yeah,
you know,
if you watch
Stumpy
it enough
was Stumpy.
times, yeah.
Like you would get the whole story. But yeah, seriously, high priest in go-go boots fights Tarzan Jesus.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's basically Star Wars. It's really
What?
the whole movie is really this. I think
Sorry,
that,
I know that was so loud.
I think this is what George Lucas just ripped this off, and I think this is there's Obi-Wan and Luke.
There's so much anus
You know,
in this movie.
There's a lot of anus.
Do you think any of these actors kind of hooked up with each other? I mean, they saw each
they
other
had to
naked.
have.
Why not?
Yeah, well, especially
I would have hooked up with the camel.
the birth and
Oh my
Reed.
God, it freaked me out a little bit. We're learning more
Oh my
about
God!
Darth.
I just made Mr. Brown clutch his pearls. That's
Yes.
insane.
The during the scene towards the end, the death and rebirth scene, where they're all basically visualizing dying.
Yes.
That was entirely done on mushrooms.
Ooh.
Oh, dear God.
The director
Wow.
gave.
Where do you get this information from?
It's apparently it's an open secret that this is the part I can't watch. This I'll make the audience watch it, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I-
yes,
I
the
don't-
dermatological.
I don't know it's fake, and I know how they did it, but I don't.
There's
want
like
to see it.
a tumor excruting.
the octopus.
Is this your
teacher.
card?
The octopus.
Oh God.
the poor octopus teacher.
Ugh.
But it healed quickly,
Yeah.
which won an Academy Award, by the way. The octopus teacher.
That's
Did it
good. That's
seriously?
good. That's good.
Yes.
Good.
I'm trying to divert.
Yes,
very
thank
good.
you, God.
Who was your favorite of the disciple people? Mine was
can't
mine
remember
was the
them all.
Mohawk guy because he had that cool helmet and his hair came through.
We'll have to get to that point for me to even
I'll
remember.
refresh my memory. when we get there.
That's all I remember about the
Because
characters.
to clarify, hindsighters, and this is something that we really should tell you, Jason has a very awkward story about this movie that's even more awkward than the movie. So Adam and I saw this movie for the first time ever yesterday. Jason, when did you first see this movie, and who did you see it with?
And what motivated you to see it? It was in the
Weren't you with
theaters.
your parents?
What?
I thought you were with your parents when you first saw this movie.
God no!
Oh, okay. So you were
Jesus
saying
Christ,
just
how much drugs are you on? No.
Is that a
I
real?
thought
Is
you
that
were
a real hippo?
Yeah, it's a real hippo.
I love it. Look
Yeah.
at us drinking the water.
He borrowed it from Pablo Escobar. I assume.
That's right. There are a lot of
Not a
hippos
lot of
there.
hippos in Central America, but Pablo has them. No, I said.
Strategic foam. That's what I said. Remember?
Yeah.
Strategic lather.
Oh, there we go. There's the anus.
Yes, I already
that
mentioned
see
that.
they,
Oh,
they
That was
God.
what got rid of George Harris. There you go, audience.
But they could have had a buddy
A double.
a buddy
A body double.
a butt double.
Jodorowsky wouldn't. No, it would
no,
not
no.
be.
It had to
no,
be
it's not
genuine.
authentic. No,
I'm
what I
surprised that they
said
didn't.
was this would be the worst movie imaginable to force somebody to watch with their parents.
Oh, okay. Now I misunderstood
Like
you, and
if
I
a
thought you had to watch this with your parents. So
No,
okay.
no. Just
glad for you.
here the poopy scene.
Yeah, this is the. Oh, come on! You can deliver the whole time. I'm like, do it.
I don't know. Oh, there's
Yeah.
the poo.
God.
There's the poo. YouTube's gonna.
Do you think that's authentic?
Yeah, I think it's authentic.
This is such a horrible movie.
This is actually the scene, and I'll tell you the first time I ever heard about this movie.
and random pelicans, and the naked woman's playing
of course,
music in the background. Like you do.
Drugs mess with your head, man.
Apparently
Drugs mess
so.
with your head.
I've never done drugs like hallucinogenic drugs that cause these kind of hallucinations. I
I don't know that there are too many people out there that have done this level of drugs and lived to tell the tale.
I'm not sure that I could have flipped the switch and come back. Like, I really couldn't have.
I don't think he did.
Meanwhile, Jesus is in a glass cage.
A still. He's in a
He's being
still.
distilled, every part of him.
Yeah.
It's sweat therapy.
Jesus brand whiskey.
Maybe we need to take a break.
Let's. We do
I
actually.
think so.
We do need to take a break. We will.
I got to look away again. Look at that. The sizzling
can
poop.
smell it.
I
You
can
can
actually smell it through the television.
I can't.
Yeah, that's true.
You're lucky. You're
she's
very
never
lucky.
smelled it.
Yeah.
Oh, and meanwhile, he's throwing up in
And
the
screaming.
distillery. God. Ugh.
Yeah.
God help me. Let's take a break.
Okay.
Hindsighters will be back in approximately 1 second.
And we're back. And we're still watching The Holy Mountain.
Unfortunately.
I want to finish telling the story about how I first heard of this movie.
Yes,
Okay, yes,
please do.
Please.
And I suspect it's probably how most people nowadays have heard of it.
Through others who want to torture them?
No, there was actually a documentary that was on Netflix. I think it has since departed Netflix, but it's called Jodorowsky's Dune. And what happened was the rights to make the Frank Herbert novel Dune into a movie had been purchased by someone who said, "Hey, let's get this guy who did The Holy Mountain to direct Frank Herbert's Dune."
Like you do.
Yeah. And certain aspects of it are tantalizing. He actually
Of Dune?
of Jodorowsky's approach to how he was going to make it. He actually convinced Salvador Dali to play in the movie. He was going to play.
What year was this?
It's hilarious. You bring, it's like you're in my brain because
Uh-oh.
honestly, I thought that because when Adam brought up the hippo,
Yes.
Jodorowsky borrows a hippo. I was like, it's kind of like Salvador Dali's anteater that he used to walk on a leash. Like, random people just have such random pets.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So supposedly it was going to be Salvador Dali's only ever speaking part in a movie. It was the only time he was ever going to act, and he was going to play Duke Atreides, Paul Atreides' father, for those of you who know of the book.
Once again, approximately what year are we talking? Mid-70s?
Yeah, it would have been mid-70s.
Okay.
Oh God.
Yeah, let's just
Press on.
Yeah, we'll just let the audience just sort of feast on this while I'm talking.
Press on.
Oh, it's a
mummy.
mannequin.
Yeah, it's a mummy.
And
Not a daddy.
Okay.
There's
Okay. Back. Let's focus.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was
Focus.
going to explain, but all right, never mind.
It was, early. This is what, 73, so I guess like 75, something like that. So, and he convinced Dolly to do it by offering to pay him $100,000 an hour. Yeah.
That's ungodly.
What?
Yeah. Orson Welles, he wanted Orson Welles to play Baron Harkonnen.
Okay.
And the way he did that was he promised to have Orson Welles' favorite chef in the world cook every meal for him all 3 days the entire time he was working on the movie.
How did he come in under budget with all of these promises?
It never
Well,
happened.
this movie never happened. And that wasn't actually the death knell. That wasn't what killed the movie. Pink Floyd, he was going to get Pink Floyd to do the music, which, Christ,
I would have loved
would've
that.
been fantastic.
Yeah.
But what happened was Frank Herbert traveled to, I think, London, maybe Paris. Show us that facial expression again. Yeah.
Oh,
I know. How did the actress not?
Here's the thing, hindsighters.
What does that remind you of? It's in my
does
eye. It got in my eye.
Las Vegas.
Speaking of Las Vegas, apparently.
No, wait, hang on.
Finish.
We got to finish
Train
this.
of thought.
We'll never
Well, I
get
have a
back.
train of thought regarding the nails, so we'll go
Okay.
on to that after you're done.
By the way, if you ever watch the IT Crowd, you know, the goth guy, Richmond,
Yes.
he looks just like Richmond. He looks
I
exactly
was so
like
traumatized
Richmond.
by this movie that I didn't even realize that, but yes.
So Frank Herbert flew to London or Paris, or wherever the production company was set up, and he found out that of the like $9 million budget, he had already blown $1.5 million of it on pre-production. And then he shows him the script. And Frank Herbert described the script as a goddamn phone book. It was 14 hours long.
Good Lord.
It's complete insanity. And I don't think he said this to Frank Herbert. I think he said it later on in an interview where he basically said, you have to treat the book like a bride. You have to rape the book. You know, you have to rape the book. I was raping Frank Herbert, but I was doing it with love. So again, the allegation that he raped someone, kind of plausible. Yeah. You know, when you say
Yikes.
shit like
Seems
that.
to be a theme.
But
with
again,
him.
he discovered feminism on the set of this movie.
I'd have murdered him. But anyway, what I have a personal story relating to the lady with the long nails who was just shoving meth crystals into her mouth by the handful.
What actually were, and I'm being totally serious, what were those pearls? What were they supposed to actually physically be?
I love that you're asking that.
No, I'm
because
serious.
I have no
there's a
clue.
shitload I don't know about this movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, but that was the whole point of the story, though. Sorry, is in the documentary Jodorowsky's Dune.
Mm-hmm.
When they,
For the love of God.
when they,
Does she have work, or are they real? You think? I don't know.
Those have to be fake. My God.
I don't. It's in 1973. You know, no,
it's not
but
Dolly Parton.
but
They're fake.
in the documentary about the proposed film for Dune, they, in order to establish for the audience just how crazy the fucking idea is to let this guy direct Dune, they show clips from the Holy Mountain.
Oh, and that was
dear
it.
God.
Specifically, and they even described like, yeah, you got Jesus shitting into a bowl and somebody turns it into gold. And I watched it going, what the?
Somebody turns it into meth and
Yeah.
then they turn it into gold.
So that was the first time I ever heard of this movie, and I said,
And then you had to see it.
I gotta see this
I
movie.
gotta see it.
And meanwhile, there's 3 women sleeping together and puppies climb out of their how do you
Are
even
those
describe
the two
this
girls
bed?
from the first scene?
I don't think they
No,
are.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But that just reminded me of
and
another,
the banging
another
in
night
the
in New York
background
City.
with the little.
But I will tell you, gents, it's not great to let a dog sleep on you while you're naked because you don't know where that hair might go. Don't
Yeah.
do it. But anyway,
You know what really grinds my gears? When a dog sleeps on me when I'm naked.
LSD is a hell of a drug, Peter. Anyway, no, but the long nails on so many of these women in this movie reminds me of when I almost had my thumb taken off by a dog, because when I went to the emergency room, the woman dealing with me was very nice, but she had very long nails like Peter on Family Guy, clacking on the keyboard, and to the point where you can't even touch the keyboard with your actual fingertips. You have to use your finger pads because the nails are too long.
Yeah.
And
There's a hygiene issue with that too.
no, there absolutely is. And so, like, a doctor I saw later was, because I looked at Josh and I was like, do not let that lady with the long nails touch me. Like, there's no way she's sewing up my thumb. It turns out they don't sew up your thumb when you get bitten by a dog because they have bacteria in their mouths that might get infected in your body. And
Did
so
you ask if you needed a shot?
No.
No, not shot.
They did give
Woof
me
woof, not bang bang.
they did give me a shot, but the point is,
for
I
all the
was
Seinfeld
I
fans
saw
out
the
there.
I know, but like the girl with the long fingernails, I was like, do not let her touch me. I swear to God.
Speaking of long fingernails,
How do they do that? It's just so realistic.
you can
guys
actually you
jumping.
can see them.
The self-bayonet.
Yeah, you can see the bayonets
okay.
moving in.
Got it.
Meanwhile,
You have
this
to-
woman dressed like the Joker.
In Hollywood, if you put something in the casting pages, people.
Can you imagine?
There'll be like 30 people that look exactly like him.
How
You're
awesome
a
would it be
mess.
as a prank? Like just go to Los Angeles and just sit around going, let's see
casting call.
what can we do a casting call for? I want a 7 foot tall albino
Grenade necklace.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the
Buddhist gun.
weapons for the young generation.
Yeah.
For the Jews.
Oh, this is where Adam and I went crazy with our notes in our
The
text
Jesus
messages.
pistol. Woo! That one scared her a little bit. She didn't expect it to go off.
She flinched like Alan Rickman in Die Hard.
Yeah. Nice house.
Yeah.
It's a nice house.
I mean,
You know,
Bruce Wayne would live there. Yeah.
I think he would probably get rid of most of the art.
Well,
he would probably keep
Alfred would.
He might keep the toilet.
Alfred would get rid of most of the art, not Bruce.
And
Bruce
the thing
doesn't
is,
really care.
And the thing is, and I'll pop it back up whenever it actually gets there. But in the shot where you see there's like, he has all the art and there is an artistically done, sculpture of a toilet. I just thought there was actually an artist who actually made that and actually sold it.
You mean the woman sitting on the
What?
elevated toilet?
Right there.
Oh,
There's
yes,
a toilet
yes.
right there. Yeah. And
What weird ass
I mean,
people.
and there's some, it's like interesting shots here and there. There's stuff in the movie that is
Intriguing. How about that? Intriguing.
And
It's visually intriguing, yes.
yeah, I feel like if you took somebody like Alejandro and you paired him with a producer or a writer that could rein him in a little bit, you could come up with something really great. But that's why he's never ever going to make anything good, because he absolutely will not compromise on this insanity that he wants to show the world.
And is
Jim.
Alejandro still alive?
Oh yeah, he's still alive. He's
Still making gold.
he's like a
Gold limousines.
he's written comic books. He's written he's still out there. He's still doing stuff. Well,
He's working in multiple mediums. Okay.
This movie and El Topo, whenever they finished the movie, and Arkin, I think his name was Arkin, the producer.
God,
he owned the rights to El Topo and to this movie, and he wanted Jodorowsky to direct. And I can't remember what the name of the movie was. He wanted him to direct, and he wouldn't do it. And he even I don't know if there was a contractual obligation to do it or not, but he even left the country.
Oh, wow.
And out of spite, Arkin said, these two movies will never be seen. And he basically locked them up. And for 30 years, nobody could see El Topo or this movie. So they kind of developed this, strong underground, there's this fucked up movie, but you can't see it. And
There was a hunger.
yeah, and if you can find if you can find a bootleg copy, maybe.
She's going to hit me with it.
Yeah. So that helped. That sort of
Yeah.
added to the mystique of the Le Mountain du Hole.
Okay.
Oh, see, I did like this. Like he's kind of blowing the vagina, and these are real people.
No,
you know?
these are the plumbuses that I was talking about. No,
plumbuses.
yeah, the plumbuses.
Now,
Because
if someone did that to me, I'll tell you, I would change. I'd pop to attention. Look at that. That guy's nothing's happening.
Well, it's probably about the 12th time today.
Yeah, maybe. He's
By,
just,
by about take 38, you're like, God, is it lunchtime yet?
I'm raw right now, please. Thank you.
Where's craft services? My hands are up in the box. Could you hand me a sandwich and I can eat it while we're doing this?
Oh, I see. This is where I was expecting to be poking, and then maybe another
hate you both.
scat shot.
I hate you both. Oh God!
And then we have the infamous love machine.
I'm just a love machine, and I won't work for nobody but you.
Yeah, and the two guys couldn't pull it off, but the lady. Leave it to the lady.
leave it to
Because
the lady.
she knows how the love machine wants to be touched.
She's from San Francisco. I was raised in the Bay Area.
Like, he's trying the direct approach.
Yeah, the poor guy's like,
My
Doing the
God.
best I can.
charge!
And meanwhile, this woman manages it in
Pretty quickly.
in
pretty quickly. Yeah.
like freaking platforms as well.
It's
She's off her balance, and she's still doing it better than a man.
you have to wonder if the chauffeur, was like, can we just cuddle? Can we just talk? I've been driving all day. I'm very tired.
Can you give me a massage first?
yeah.
Like, can you warm me up a little bit? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And she gets naked to pleasure a machine.
See, and that's the thing. This movie, I don't, and one of the reasons why no one will ever convince me that this movie is anything other than garbage
yes.
is how I don't care if you said you discovered feminism when you were making the movie.
The machine widened open for her, though.
This is the most exploitative,
Right.
whatever. This movie exploits women in
every fucking way possible.
You cannot, because
Yes.
it's like the dudes. It's like, yeah, there's a bunch of naked dudes, but you're dudes.
Even
Well,
see, that's something that I've talked to Josh about because he was in the infantry, and so he's like, he's just like, yeah, being naked in front of other guys, like, screw it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and I was like, no, like that's not the same for me. Like, I don't want to be naked in front of other people, like unless I choose to be, and it's so different.
But someone had to sit and design this and manufacture just this. This was probably an endeavor to make that love robot.
There's money tied up in this thing.
There's like a
you have
mechanic clitoris
it
involved.
stands up, and it's
A little frill comes out of the top
Yeah.
when it's being titillated.
now here's Cell. This is
I hate this
this
movie,
is the
Jason.
children's toys.
This is the children's toys.
This is the last time you'll be seeing Jason, by the way, hindsighters,
No.
because we're gonna murder him.
that is Valeria or Valencia something Jodorowsky. That's the wife of the director.
Oh.
First wife of the director.
Okay.
They're not married.
I'm sure they've been married
yeah,
multiple
Really?
Surprise!
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Register the
And-
shock
and
underneath
also,
my borrowed helmet.
By the way, one of the reasons why she is a mime or a clown sort of character is that the director is a mime.
Oh, I thought he was
So-
into mimes.
No,
He's a mime
Yeah. So if you
random Santa Claus.
yeah, so if you were one of the two people on the planet who didn't hate
Claudio Cassini.
mimes, now you got no
Yeah.
excuse. You got to hate them.
Well, they're clownish like in this movie. Like mimes in our culture, or like even in European culture, aren't like this. They're not dressed up and painted like clowns. They're black and white typically. They don't have like the big red noses like clowns in a circus. So
They
I
still
wonder.
suck though. I still hate them. Yeah. No. Hey, no. No. Have you ever seen a mime die? It must be
Yeah,
glorious.
it's ugly.
Oh my god. So you're basically saying that you hate Charlie Chaplin.
You know,
As a man, yes, but as an actor, he was wonderful.
yeah, and a director and an yeah. The mime part of him, hate the sin, love the sinner.
There you go. That's right.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. Anyway.
Now, can you do subtitles?
No,
you
can't. Not on this, no.
I had to rig it up sort of
Roger.
special to get it to
Okay, good.
to Arab.
See, when I have my official wedding documents to administer wedding officiations, because I am the high priestess now.
Ah, that's
Insiders.
right.
Did you have to spoon Jesus Christ at any point, or
I did not. I did have to eat him when he was made out of mashed potatoes.
Oh, okay. I thought, oh my gosh, where's this going?
she's stern but sensual?
It's getting a triple X rating now.
Stern, but yes, sensual
Yeah,
skipper of the USS Rough
yeah.
Service.
So before she filmed this though, she went a week without sleep.
I can't even believe that
Yeah.
because being
I'll look it up and see exactly.
No, I believe you. It's just that being without sleep for that long essentially makes you drunk. Like your brain isn't operating anymore. You can barely function as a human being. So I don't know how she
Well,
accomplished
she didn't have a
this.
lot of lines to memorize, that's for sure. I don't think she said anything.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
But she's walking on these teetering ass heels, and that in and of itself is a challenge. Like Nick Swartzen has a bit about that, about how when women like get so made up and wear like Manolo Blahniks that are 4.5 inches tall, and he's like, they go out and they turn into drunken giraffes. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like
no, because it's hot. Not the walking part.
no. Walking in heels is difficult.
I know.
I know, trust me.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Anyway, moving
Oh
on.
my!
No, and a funny side story. I was in a show one time where I played 11 characters. One was a sales girl, and I had these size 10 red pumps.
How is this the first time we're hearing this?
Well, it seems that you're talking about wearing high heels. And the last phase of my character is, how do I walk like a woman? I put on the heels, and I could do it. But I threw them in my closet and forgot about them. And when I started dating my wife, she opened and she says, is there a story behind this?
Oh dear God!
Put those away quick.
Yes, there is.
Have you been hooking on the side?
I'm a streetwalker.
He's the hooker with a heart of gold. Aaron Brockovich.
I've got to find. No, not Aaron Brockovich.
I know.
She's the hooker with a heart of gold.
That's from...
Pretty Woman.
No, I know. That's...
What's her name? Vivian.
Oh, God damn it. No, that's... it's not South Park. Is that from Family Guy?
Oh, God.
And they keep
who
talking
knows?
about Aaron Brockovich, the hooker with a heart of gold.
No, speaking of that, I've got to find this picture of Benedict Cumberbatch now, and you'll understand why in a
Slapped
moment.
you fast, binge you over?
Brandywine Candy Crunch, yes.
Bend over and Phil McCracken.
Yeah. Close your eyes and think of England.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
Yeah, see, I'm actually curious if Jodorowsky drew that. The comic, because he's
He is a
Yeah, he's a
comic,
comic.
yeah.
I don't know if he inks them. He might just write them. My
go.
knowledge of him only goes so far.
Oh my gosh.
Benedict Cumberbatch, show the hindsighters and actually switch the camera so they can see it,
Why
because you
did he
often
do
forget
that?
to do that.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. I think he was at some sort of costume party, but that is Brandywine Candy Crunch.
He's an ugly woman.
He's a very handsome man, though.
That's like the whole trans
really
thing.
think so?
That, I would never. And I told this to somebody before.
He's celoso, Senor Brown.
I could never conceive of doing the trans thing because I would just be the ugliest woman, and I couldn't live with that. If I thought for a second I could pull off being attractive, maybe.
Right.
But if you're just going to be an asshole, why don't you just be a man? Don't worry about it. Anyway, so
won't.
there's this fucking movie that we're talking about that I hate so much.
You've only got 40 more minutes.
God.
The naked children. Why? Oh, and then the throwing of the blood balloons.
Yeah, okay, yeah. This was where I had to look away.
This scene is-
Seriously,
yeah,
the
and
naked
we're
kids.
not going to show you any of this.
No, we're not. This is absolutely horrible. I don't know how or why.
Penis.
Ah!
This whole sequence too. I have
Draw
to admit,
panties on them.
on second viewing, I kind of skip through this because it's just, come on, director.
No, I muscled through it like a goddamn champion, and so did Mr. Brown.
Well, the first time I saw it, I watched it.
Well, of course.
The second time, subsequent viewing, you'd be amazed how quick the movie goes by. Subsequent viewing, it's like 10 minutes.
Especially if you like pop a gummy and you're just like, fuck it.
Well, no, you're sitting with the remote going, nope.
I'm out.
Oh wait. Oh no. Oh wait, we're getting some.
We're getting some feedback, hindsighters. We apologize.
If you hear
can
any
it.
voices speaking,
They're all inside
it's all
our
in your
heads.
head. Yeah.
Yes, that's fine.
Oh, our autistic brains.
Now look at that. That's sensuous.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
that's
this
some
I don't
hot shit right
understand.
there.
This rather large lady
If
is.
you ever fantasized about your middle school principal, this is the movie for you.
Your middle school principal's grandmother. That's who it is.
Yes. So this rather large woman
With a very
is,
green bush.
Rubenesque. Rubenesque.
what is with the horse though? There's like a silicone horse that she sensuously rides before she rides her man. And
But that toilet is just so very high.
I know. I don't think I could.
Yeah.
I'd be. I feel like a
Meanwhile-
giant up there, Jerry.
Yeah. I'd lose circulation in my legs.
When George got the office with the disabled toilet, I'm like a gargoyle up there.
meanwhile, he played a gargoyle in a Disney movie.
Yes.
Ironic enough.
Yeah.
She even has green pasties.
I mean,
They match her
literally,
hair.
like at a certain point, you just
God.
have to like the nudity. I stopped noticing. Oh, it's a penis.
Well, because some of the nudity is simply not welcome. Like,
Yeah.
kind of like how you gentlemen have said, if women of the world would just wear yoga pants all the time, that'd be great. I was like, yeah, but let me qualify. Those of us who belong in yoga pants, right? And you were like, yeah. You don't want to see certain people naked, and you don't want to see them in yoga pants either. So,
Well, that's why it should be. When we come up with the uniform for the human race. It's
yes,
gonna be,
we've talked about
it's
this.
gonna be yoga pants and burkas.
Muumuus.
Muumuus.
Muumuus for some of
No,
us.
burka. Which one is the one that covers the face too? Because there's some
Burka.
ladies. That,
Burkas.
Yeah, okay, that's the one. I can see where they're coming from on some of it. I just think they carry it too far.
God, that's hilarious how different visual effects happen on men versus women because men are so much more visual
They're
than women
very
are.
visual. Yeah.
Like me, for instance,
we
like
use our eyes almost the whole day.
that we do. But I grew up, for instance, having so many guy friends, and because your looks don't factor into me. If you're intelligent, smart, kind, you're a nice person, I'm gonna hang out with you. Like you could be Brad Pitt.
Then why do you hang out with us?
Yeah, then what the hell are you doing here?
Because I have no other prospects.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's why you keep putting interim on everything.
There's an asterisk on this. But
Unless I get a better offer. OBO.
Yeah.
BRB. But no, seriously, I looks have never factored into it for me to the point where
Well, friends, no. I mean,
no, anybody.
I'm
Because
friends with lots of ugly people.
I got friends in low places. No, but seriously, looks never intimidated me to that point. Whether I was dating you or whether we were going to be friends, because looks don't really matter that much to me. It's just a thing. Like I like when you have a nice personality, when you can make me laugh, et cetera, et cetera. So it baffled all my girlfriends growing up because they were like, hey, are you dating Mark? Are you dating Nick? And I was like, no, we just hang out. And they're like, oh, so like, can I go for him? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? He's right there. Go talk to him. Look but they couldn't do that because they were like, oh my gosh, he's so handsome. Like I can't handle this. And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I know. That's the
What even
story
is
of my
that?
life.
I know.
Story of my life.
too.
Well,
Me 3.
you're both very handsome gentlemen. Calm down.
Yeah, I
you.
know.
Oh, pink panties on a man.
What? Oh, you mean in the movie?
Whitey tighties.
It's,
Well, because I know there happened to be a girl in one of Jason's classes growing up.
they weren't pink, they were red.
Oh, I thought they were pink.
No, they were a very specific tone of red that I can visualize to this day, along with the fabric, the scalloped,
The
I think
frill?
is the
Dear
term.
God, yes, scallop is the term. You're right.
Hey, a 15-year-old kid.
Frill or scalloped. Yes, you're both right. Meanwhile, we have
Bodybuilders.
I actually think that the U.S. military should consider that, because just imagine if you're Al Qaeda and you see that coming across the horizon.
like,
That's going to buy you time.
oh, yeah.
that is
What do we do?
Now, is that...
it's a transvestite brigade.
What is that,
Airborne
what is
wing.
that dropping on the table anyway? I was trying to...
I
was
don't
that
know if
bird
it's
dung?
a bird shitting on Roger Waters or
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it has to be a bird
These
because
guys don't know how to hold guns.
who doesn't have wedding cake underneath a huge birdhouse? I'm serious. Like,
Yeah, because the birds live in the
Birdhouse.
birdhouses up above, so it's got to be.
Abajo.
It's got to be birds with a
Arriba, abajo,
very
centro,
very
para adentro.
serious digestive disorder.
Adentro. Yeah.
Yeah, mazel tov.
Now this,
Don't be
he's
jealous.
very angry. Look, he takes the woman and jams it into the cake, and just like,
everything's made out of cake in this
and just
movie.
think there was a baker that baked that. I always think about that baked all these.
Penis is
Got
penis,
paid.
penis.
There were people that
There's
made these
Vanilla
mannequins.
ice
Yeah, the vanilla-
before he dyed his hair.
Okay, now-
this is where I'm gonna look at Jade.
No. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, I'm not going to force you to watch this because.
No, I knew something bad was going to happen in this scene. I just knew it.
And here's the thing, though, when
knew it.
they filmed this scene, obviously, they cut away, and you just get an instant reaction shot. But they actually had to put the blade around the dude's scrot.
Well, unless that was a fake. Hopefully, that was a cake scrotum. I don't know.
I don't
Oh,
think
it's
it
the,
was.
yeah, you're right.
No, I don't think it was.
He's fully erect, hindsiders.
As I would be too, getting ready for that. Oh, end with a bang, I guess. I don't know.
This is what inspired Mad Max, by the way.
Yeah, there it is.
I think I wrote that last
You
night. Where I
did
was
Beyond
just like,
Thunderdome.
Yes.
Oh, we
Mad
are
Max
way-
and Rick and Morty had a baby.
Yeah, we are way beyond Thunderdome. Oh,
God
God.
damn.
Oh, there it is.
I'll
You know
let them
what?
look away because
Just
guess
let
what's
it-
happening, hindsiders? There's a man not just being circumcised, he's getting his
No, he's not. No,
penis utterly removed.
no, he's
No,
having
his scrotum.
He's being castrated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he,
his scrotum.
like
he's
all,
becoming a what do they call him?
A
The,
eunuch.
Eunuch.
Yeah, eunuch.
but
Eunuch. Yeah. And then they They keep
I don't
them.
understand that. And this is why I said the Rick and Morty part, because the guy actually keeps all of the scrotums in a collection, like Rick keeps his memories on Rick and Morty, and it's just so fucking disturbing.
And some art director or art designer, because these people, they're used to, I'm working on this new movie, and they get a job, and so they say, well, we got an apartment. Can you go ahead and get some gack and put some stuff in the? Oh yeah, sure, okay, got it.
Adam,
I
is
got
that young John Mulaney?
It is, yes.
Oh, okay.
It's like I got a warehouse full of this stuff, and then what
I need 400 scrotums.
Yeah.
Severed scrotums, please, in jars. Oh my God! The thing is, you take
everyone in
this
this movie looks like Roger Waters.
You take this stuff for granted, but there's all kinds of people that put work into this thing.
I think he.
How do you both do this? Where
You got to
catch me right as I take a sip?
I think the
Spit
guy.
take.
I think the guy pulls off the mohawk.
He does.
I think he does.
Yeah.
Pulls it off. We are not effeminate. We are not effeminate. We just don't have any testicles.
Because, okay. And I know neither of you watch Game of Thrones, so let me ask you a question. And not to bring it to Game of Thrones, because I know you have no interest in it, but what is the point of removing a man's genitalia to, make him focus? Because in that story, that's what it's for.
To make us look away.
Yeah, it's if you wanted. Okay, if you're a high potentate, and you would like some big burly dudes to constantly guard your lady folks, your wife, your daughters, things like that.
Uh-huh.
You want them to be tough dudes who can protect them, but you also want to make sure
But not be able to rape them.
Or consensually.
Or seduce them.
Yeah.
Okay. Spilling candy and roses out of my guts.
They're made of candy.
And apples. God, this movie makes no sense. So, okay, is that essentially the purpose?
That's part of it. Now, there's also another. Have you ever heard of a castrati?
That's what I was going to say. Castratis.
Yeah, the castrati.
No, I don't know that word.
So they could
please
sing.
teach me.
It keeps them soprano, like Michael Jackson. Yeah, that's
Got
right.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
They're great singers.
Keeps the voice from changing and
No testosterone present.
Wow, that's scary as shit.
and if you ever there are not very many castratis
You do it for the art.
in the world.
Yeah.
But there is a guy, I can't remember his name. But I've actually heard a song sung by a fully grown male castrati.
you should insert that into this portion of the
That's too much work,
episode.
yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah, too much work to do.
I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I gotta tell
put it
you.
in
And
the
it's
show
a
notes.
very I will say it's a very interesting. It's a distinct. It sounds like a woman, but not. And singing those those parts, it's a weird thing. But back then they didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
So
They had to create their own entertainment
yeah.
in whatever way that
What do
they
you guys
could.
want to do today? You want to castrate somebody?
Oh my god.
Huh?
It's horrifying.
No.
Yeah,
Well, it's just
not
like the first guy that came up with circumcision. I mean, that must have really gone over well, right?
Okay, I got an idea for you.
Yeah, I got an idea. Let's check it out.
Well, it's like
No.
Bill Watterson, who invented Calvin and Hobbes. He wrote a comic strip once when he was talking about cows, and he was like, I want to drink whatever comes out of that thing. And it doesn't make any sense. Like, humans we're so strange. We're like, let's create fire. Who the fuck thought of fire? Like, who thought of drinking out of a cow or a goat? Like,
Well,
it just
Think about this. Okay. And
Oh, no.
I think you might have heard this already.
probably.
You've known kinky farmers, right? I mean, that's how it all starts. Yeah.
I milk your cow and I run away into the night.
First
I
wife.
know. My wife was angry at me, sent me to the barn. I was looking for a reasonable facsimile.
Oh.
Yikes.
No, the potato. Okay.
Yeah.
The potato is one of the greatest mysteries because the potato is actually a member of the nightshade family.
And
It will kill you. Okay. But at some point in human history, there was a potato that had mutated and it wasn't lethal. Somebody ate it and didn't die and said, hey, let's cultivate these.
that person was Mr. Brown because after a rehearsal of Shakespeare in the Park, the man had a baked potato for dinner
Did I do something wrong?
and then ordered
Oh, fries.
tater tots and fries at Taco Mac.
I wasn't the first, though.
I see no.
I love me some taters.
I see no issue with this.
No foul on the play.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I could eat potatoes 3 meals a day.
Oh my god.
Potatoes are like the greatest food
Particularly
ever.
fried
They're the
potatoes.
most. So I tease him about it. I'll send him like memes where it's like potatoes.
Yes,
yeah,
I got
you
the,
got it. Like,
I got the gold.
No ice.
oh, the ice, the ice penis. So let's talk about this.
I don't think that is that plexi or is it really ice?
I think that's ice.
Oh my
I think
God.
he paid to have somebody
Somebody
make it.
literally made an ice structure
Because
of a penis,
it's authentic.
and they're in a basketball court.
Of course.
Clearly, because basketball is so prominent in Mexico.
It's a huge, huge sport in Mexico.
First of all, yes,
Mexico.
Yeah.
in Mexico, sí, claro.
Oh, look, the new homes.
And
the new home design.
Yeah.
Now,
Little on the
that's when I
nose.
was texting you. It's like, I would live in one of those homes because the pretty girl was in it.
Well, and you could be alone with the pretty
Yes,
girl.
I could. But there
but
she is. Look at Spanker with the feathers.
Yeah,
Spank.
but then she stays.
Yeah, that's
By
true.
herself.
yeah.
Like she's like topless and Daisy Duke
Dukes,
shorts.
before Daisy Duke ever existed.
Yeah. And she gets spanked by
like-
feathers.
it's like a horrible
and now
magic
she's suddenly
trick.
naked.
Yeah,
What's
she's
wrong with her
naked.
knee? Oh my
I
god.
know, yeah,
Like,
her
there's
knee
something
is-
wrong with her knee.
yeah.
She
It's her
hurt it.
patella. Bad patella.
Oh, Jason knows about that. He's hurt his patella.
Yeah, cracked it. Yeah.
But,
Now we actually do have to. We're coming up on a break,
Another break.
Oh, okay.
and you've only got another half hour, and then you never have to think of this
Thank
movie
God.
ever
thank
again.
sweet.
If I make
Fake
it through the
Jesus.
next half hour, I might
So
not.
we're probably going to zoom ahead a little bit so we can catch up to the ending,
which is brilliant.
which is actually the only part of the movie that I like.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be
Flush
back
my
in about 1 second.
I wonder how many ticks they got there. That's all I can think about.
And we're back.
Yes.
We're still there.
Hi,
And
hindsighters.
let's catch you guys up.
Yeah, so now we're at the Holy Mountain.
Well, they're
Holy Valley.
The valley.
The valley.
the mountain.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they're getting ready. This is when they go through the death and rebirth thing, and they are all
Lucky dude.
They are all wasted on magic mushrooms.
You'd have to be.
Yeah,
And we're getting cut with lipstick on our tummies. It's fantastic.
And then it's
And then somebody
Yeah.
puts a cranberry in our stomachs, and it makes all the sense in the fucking world, Jason.
It's. I think they're actually. It's supposed to be like they're rubbing a mushroom on them, and it's
Hallucinogenic somehow?
I thought you eat them. I don't know. I don't know how shrooms work. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
I've never done
well-versed in
shrooms.
the
So,
shrooms.
but now I've heard from doctors, like especially the more forward-thinking
Doctors.
ones. That, no, I've heard from doctors that like they won't ingest anything, or excuse me, they won't use a lotion or put something on their skin that they wouldn't ingest. So maybe it's just like,
What?
That seems odd.
I
No,
wouldn't
because you
ingest
can-
rubbing alcohol.
Yeah.
but you can absorb things through your skin that actually
I wouldn't
affect
ingest
you.
calamine
So
lotion,
this is a
would you?
more extreme version of it. Look, it's Millie.
Yeah, but in this case, Millie is taking their souls away, and then
And she's a black Great Dane
Hide your
instead of a
penis
King
with the
German
dogs there.
Shepherd.
You might think it's a sausage.
William Van Buren is about to
Alexander
leave
Graham,
yeah.
heaving bell.
Yeah, that is a black Great Dane. And this was a funny thing that happened to me, gentlemen. Just to mention,
The funny thing happened on the way to the Holy Mountain.
Yes,
It was you and
so
a Great Dane. Proceed.
I was at home the other day, and a fellow came to solicit a service to my house, and
I've heard that.
I said
regarded
no.
that way. You said no. Oh,
Well,
Can you be more specific?
women have choices, Mr. Brown.
yes, they
We're
do.
the prize, so we have the choice. No, but seriously, this guy came to solicit a pest service at my house, and he saw Millie through the glass door, and he was like, "Good Lord, that guy is huge," and I was like, She's
and
a big was like, okay then. And so I was nice enough to speak to him, and I took him out to the driveway. I was like, they'll be better and they won't make as much noise if we go out to the driveway. And then he really focuses on the Dodge on Queen Anne. And he was like, how are you today? I said, I'm perfectly fine. How are you? And he was
What
like,
do you want?
he was like, I'd be a lot better if I had this baby in my life. And I was like, yeah, she's a fun ride. And he was like, she's yours?
He's a salesman.
yes.
But he was surprised because, of course, I'm the little lady.
Woman driving a car?
Yeah.
How modern.
He was like, she's yours. And I was like, yeah.
I like the throbbing 250 horsepower 4-barrel carburetor.
Yes, I do.
700 horsepower. Let's double that.
But yeah,
Yes.
it's not often that a salesman doesn't condescend to you, but especially as a lady. But
I don't think I've ever had a salesman come to my door.
Never?
I honestly.
well, you live in a townhome
Well, you live in a
gated community.
gated-
no, but I mean, like I've lived in lots of places. I've had Jehovah's Witnesses.
Well, they're trying to sell you something.
Well, that's true.
An invisible product.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell you your soul.
That's right.
So there was a movie.
Still going.
I derailed us.
Well, what's happening?
So now we're on the Holy Mountain, sort of.
Well, what's happening is that they are preparing to go up. The plot, which is explained in the second half of the movie, is that the alchemist is putting together an elite team of drug heads and chimpanzees and prostitutes.
Yeah, I was about to say, and sex people.
How they got that chimpanzee to sit like that?
I think that was beautiful. Yeah.
That was pretty impressive.
Probably not, because honestly, the way animals get treated in Hollywood.
Well, this
was
ain't
not
Hollywood.
It's worse
than but it's worse than the Me Too movement, especially when you're in a country that doesn't respect the same laws that
Yeah.
the USA does.
Well, so the alchemist wants to take these people to the Holy Mountain, where he's told them there are 9 people who live there who are immortals and they control the whole world, and we're going to go there and kill them, and we'll be immortals, and then we'll be gods. And so the entire movie is led up to this quest to this island, which is vaguely Germanic, with a German bar.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
For some reason. And there's like people there who are going to climb the weird guy who can pass through solid rock.
Yeah,
and he
I
makes a
didn't get
weird
that.
cartoon sound when he does it.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, that was the sound. But like he can only go horizontal. So he went through the Holy Mountain, but he couldn't get to the top of the. Why? Did he not know how mountains work?
I didn't get that whole
Yeah.
bit at all.
Mountains are all about going up, hindsighters,
yeah.
not through.
Yeah, not too many mountain
So,
climbers say, why did you go through it? Because it was there.
And here's the thing: we all need to be covered in sand before we can traverse the mountain.
Because the grave is your first mother.
Oh, is that the reason?
No, your first home, first mother. I can't remember.
I don't know. This is only the second time I've seen this movie, and thank God it doesn't have the subtitles because seriously, Jason, God damn it, why did you make us watch this?
I told you, most painful movie ever made.
But we both did it. High five.
It is hindsighters.
And I
you
am
really owe it to
serious.
yourself to rent it, watch it, and then hate us.
Yeah.
No, I already have enough trolls. Oh, you're.
I want a troll.
You're trolling for trolls. I forgot.
Are there any trolls out there? You can hate me. Come on. There's nothing worse than not being hated.
Oh
Hey,
my
you.
God.
You know who I'm talking to. You're not man enough to troll
That's
this
right.
guy. You're
That's
too
right.
scared. You're too chicken to troll this guy.
Meanwhile, he's taking
waist.
He's taking screenshots of me right now as we speak.
So the intrepid group of weirdos.
Intrepid group of weird.
Yeah, they go to Lotus Island.
Yes.
And they're going to climb the mountain and they're going to defeat the 9 people who are there and
Sneak up on them, cut their throats.
And surprise, surprise, it was all a metaphor.
Yeah, I know.
Surprise. Did anyone ever watching this movie think that there was anyone under those robes?
No,
No one did.
there was nothing.
No one did.
Not really.
But after
These children are clothed in this scene.
But they
Oddly
lots
enough-
of bread, and
but
then
they fight. Yeah,
they fight over it.
Yeah.
They put the chimpanzee in a shirt, but they leave nude children in this movie.
yeah. Jodorowsky's a weird man. He's a weird man.
I hope we never meet, sir. You're a fucking weirdo. And meanwhile, there are literal loaves.
Yeah, Subway.
No fishes.
Subway subs
I love
right
you,
there.
Subway.
Yeah, they couldn't afford the fishes. The budget was blown by this point.
They're right by the ocean, but they can't afford the fishes. However, they can afford all this white bread.
Now Jesus, he makes a pretty cool jump into that boat. Now he's been on a boat before.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Whoa, but then so the ending of the movie, they go to the Holy Mountain. Surprise, surprise. There's nobody there. The alchemist then delivers the coup de grace. Oh. And he's
Coup de grace.
And we will, in fact, I will go ahead and just skip ahead.
Yeah, why don't you? Because
Please do, because
we want to show that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is one. Let's skip
this
past
is
these young man
past the castration.
beating on the drums.
Oh, here we go.
And here's the official ending.
Yes.
Okay,
So let's show it on the screen. Yep,
Yeah.
we got it.
So he's basically saying, there is no God. And you've wasted your time.
Not only have the people he led to the mountain wasted their time,
But, yeah.
the audience
Yeah.
has also wasted their fucking time.
And
But
he
just think
says,
they are immortal now. This is how many years ago? 50
Yeah,
years ago?
yeah.
And they look so young.
well, that's the thing about it that is sort of a weird thing because he zoom back camera.
They're about to drink the Kool-Aid and put on the sneakers.
The camera zooms back to reveal the film crew.
And then they got to roll the table, of course.
And then, they roll the table.
and this is the point.
And he's talking to the audience, and he basically says, leave. It's
Yeah.
over.
And then they fade to not black.
Right,
It-
to white.
Fade to white.
Yeah, fade to white.
It was so Monty Python hindsighters, and Adam and I agreed that we're going to murder Jason over this
Yes.
because this was the most ridiculous goddamn movie we've ever seen in our lives.
There's only going to be two of us in the next podcast.
I'll be working the
and we
soundboard
won't
next
know how to work any of this equipment.
I know how to
actually
do
like the ending, though. I hate to say it, but
Of course you do.
I actually kind of like, and here we go, fading to white.
And I couldn't wonder what with the one bounce board to the right, the little lighting board.
I think they just put-
he changed it. Why did he change it?
I think they just had people standing there.
I think they were
to,
just like,
you
I'm
know.
done.
Yeah.
Take 276.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
used to be
They-
fun.
Yeah.
They fade to white. And the movie's over, thank Christ. And this is the last time I will ever watch it in my life
That's
willingly.
hot in here, really.
Well, you are wearing a parka. So
That is true. Yeah, that'll do it.
It is hot.
Darth
So-
Jader even took off her sweatshirt. So it just.
So we need to talk now that we've
Lord.
we've finished the
year of hell.
The year
we
of
can
hell.
get back on not crying anymore.
Yeah. Where do we want? We need to start sort of brainstorming. Where do we want to go? Action movies or
Well, young Adam would like to return and visit the subject of Clerks, meaning we wouldn't make it multiple episodes to ruin your life, Jason. We would talk about both movies and the animated series in one episode.
The animated series is better than the movie. It is. The animated series is
See,
hilarious.
this is why I think you should be on the episode
But
instead
that's
of just
literally my
producing.
whole opinion of it. Okay, well, here's my thing about Clerks. I've seen it enough times. There's only so many times a person can see Clerks, and I've hit that, and I just don't.
Fair enough.
I don't want to watch it again.
Fine if you don't, and fine if that's how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Then be that way. See if I care. I don't care.
But there's young people out there who have probably never heard of the movie.
That's
we
true.
can educate them on the movie.
That's true.
And there are some
Adam
people
Darby.
who probably haven't ever seen all three.
No, I didn't even know there was three. Honestly,
Wait, it's Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy.
No.
And-
We're just talking about
Clerks
Clerks.
1, 2, and 3.
No. There's not a Clerks 3 yet.
Oh.
There's Clerks, there's Clerks 2, and there's Clerks the animated series.
God, I hope there's not a Clerks 3.
There's going to be a Clerks 3.
I didn't see
They've
Clerks
been talking
2.
about it. Clerks 2 is amazing. What? Okay, we'll talk about it when we actually do Clerks. But yes, hindsighters, for all intents and purposes, we're going to move into a different direction.
I would say hindsighters that are listening, send us suggestions.
Yeah, seriously.
Send us something.
What do you
On
want?
do you want?
Yeah,
Let
what
us
do you
know.
want us to do?
Yeah.
We've already taken one of Angel's suggestions. We can do it again. And just let us know what you want to hear.
I would like to see us dip back into TV because we haven't done that in ages because we've been doing just movies for so many weeks. So that's something to think about.
We
That's
should do
true.
the $6 Million Man.
Oh, that'd be great. Well, I was actually kind of kicking around, like a decade kind of thing. Like we each bring to the table like the 1970s,
Yeah, because I was around then.
Well, I was only there for 11
Kidding.
months,
I was only in the 80s for 2 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you.
There's lots that we can do, but we're going to kind of freeform it.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do decades.
After we've, we need some recovery time. Refraction period, I think is what they call it.
Yeah, after all this
Yes, that's
wild
right.
bullshit.
We got to get the Turger back.
Yeah.
And she's an English major.
Yeah.
She knows exactly what we're talking about. Hindsighters, if you don't, look in your dictionary if
Yeah.
you still have any.
If they still exist.
Yeah.
They're on the internet. Don't worry. But anyway, hindsighters, send us your suggestions. We're always open to suggestions. In the meantime, this has been Darth, Adam, Jason. This has been your traumatizing holy mountain time. This has been Darth in a helmet time and Adam in a gas mask time. This has been Jason just lording his power over us time. Either way, we enjoy you tuning in for your drive time, your listening time, whatever time it is. This has been Hindsight. We're sorry, and good night.